Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? It's Dantrail White. I'm back at it, 2026. Here for a special sit down um, with my guy, a great friend of mine, somebody that I got a ton of relationship, a ton of respect for, both personally and professionally. Again, I've been off the camera for a while, and I thought as I move forward, who better to sit down with but with my guy Brendan Workman. How you doing, man?
I'm well, man. Honored to be here. Thank you for having me. First interview in the new studio.
Yeah,
So I'm really honored, man. You do a great job. This is fun.
I appreciate you just taking your time to sit down and do this with me, especially with being a busy man. Again, both personally and professionally. How has 2026 been for you? Just starting out.
It's been a good year. Don't love the ice, but work-wise, everything's good. Family is good. It's been a good year. I feel like it's going to be a good year for real estate and mortgage, so I am optimistic.
Likewise, and I'm right there with you as it relates to the ice. I've been out shoveling the snow for the last, or breaking ice for the last 10 days, and my back, I'm just starting to get my back to come back.
How many times have you fallen? How many times have you slipped and falls?
I've fallen at least 4 times.
I'm only at 2, but
you doing good.
I got the scars on my elbow, but I'm good.
Let's start out by talking about just how we met. We've visited the story one time before, or I think I might have told somebody else before, but when I first got into real estate 10 years ago, it's been 10 years.
10 years?
It's been 10 years now. I was just trying to figure everything out. Completely green.
Completely green. I remember our first conversations.
Yeah, wet behind the ears. And I was just trying to figure things out. Trying to figure out how to get people financed and how to just gain some traction. So I started to research. The first thing that I started to research was VHDA at the time.
Yeah.
I want to say it's Virginia Housing now.
Yeah, they just shortened the acronym to only Virginia Housing, but they still use VHDA.
Right. So I was on the VHDA website and I was looking at loan officers. I was trying to figure out someone that I could make a connection with, somebody that could help me understand some pieces to the puzzle that I'm trying to figure out, or whatever the case may be. And as I was scrolling down, I think you were like number 1 or number 2 as it relates to production in the VHDA portal for loan officers, or whatever the case may be.
Now, I wasn't that high on the food chain, but I was getting awards pretty much most years. And
Right.
VHA is a wonderful partner. Still
Right.
appreciative of them. But now I remember our first conversation. You were eager to learn.
Right.
It's hard. Real estate is really hard for new real estate agents,
Mhm.
but you were eager to learn. You were humble. You didn't pretend to know everything, which I thought helped you. And you were active. You were talking to people. You had prospects. You were talking to people in your community. You wanted to figure out the best way to help them. Remember, one of your complaints with dealing with other loan officers is you felt like you send them someone with bad credit and they just give them a quick 2 minutes and just throw away all your hard work getting someone to trust you, and then you refer them and they didn't get treated right.
Right. That was definitely, and even throughout my career, that's been a hurdle. We're trying to help people understand how to prepare themselves and that sort of thing for the goal that they have at hand, which would be purchasing a house. A lot of them for the very first time. But I was looking just circling back. I was looking on that VHDA website, found you. I want to say we met at Panera.
Sounds right.
And we just been rocking and rolling ever since.
Past 10 years, it's been good. It's been a good working relationship and a friend. You've been a good friend to me outside of work.
Right. I was just telling my wife the other day, it's fun to see how your business relationships sometimes They stay business relationships, but other times they morph into personal relationships. And I could definitely say you become a great friend over the years. We spent a lot of time together, handling business as well as
Yeah.
goofing off a lot of times.
Yeah.
But
Which it's nice to have the mix. It is
right,
nice to have the mix because if you're just hanging out over a drink or lunch or something like that, and you can throw in some business too,
right,
and you can trust each other. We're not hiding anything from each other, and that helps the customer as well.
right, right. So the mortgage business. How long you been in the mortgage business now?
Man, I think it's about 27 years.
Yeah,
27. But
27
if it was
years.
28 or 26, I'm not lying, but I think it's about 27 years.
27 years, and I'm assuming you're probably working with 27-year-olds now.
Yeah, man, I've been here the whole time. It's all I know.
Right. What what led you to the mortgage business?
Man, I got a job. I
Yeah.
mean, I was young, selling home improvements at the time.
Mhm.
Went from working in daycares,
Mhm.
figuring out that was kind of not my niche.
Right.
Went to selling home improvements. That wasn't my niche. I didn't enjoy it.
Mhm.
Then mortgage, I've always liked numbers. I was
Mhm.
lucky to find a job where someone, gave me a shot. I was young, didn't know
Mhm.
what I was doing. And ever since I liked it. So
Do-
like it's probably my right fit. I'd rather be a rock and roll, rather
right.
be a professional soccer player or maybe an attorney, but maybe an attorney. But I think mortgage is the right fit for me.
So, do you remember your first deal?
I do. I do. Right off Jefferson Davis Highway.
Yeah.
I remember I think it was 30 some thousand first mortgage refinance. Manager and processor, I had to lean on my team a lot to help me get through it.
Mhm.
But it wasn't, in retrospect, it wasn't a complicated deal. Just a
Right.
refinance. I can't remember what their house was worth, but I remember somewhere in the 30,000 range. Of course, this is like 1999, so it's,
Right.
if you adjust, it's not that small.
Right. Talk to me about the market crash in 2008 and what your experience was during that time and where you were and how did you navigate those times and ultimately come out ultra successful.
Really good life lesson for me, but it was hard. Really good
Uh-huh.
life lessons to me. So around 2008, I'll just be real frank with you. I'm 49. So 2008, less 18 years ago. So I'm 31. And prior to that, I was doing well. I wasn't rich, but I
Right.
was doing well. So for a late 20 something, early 30, I was living well and enjoyed all the fruits of my labor. Wasn't
Mm-hmm.
balling, but I was living well. 2008, when the crash happened, started doing horribly bad, not making any money or barely scraping by. And that lasted for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
The benefit to that is now that when things were good, 2021, 2022, I think it
Mm-hmm.
was 2020, everyone in the real estate mortgage business did really well.
Mm-hmm.
When everyone was balling, I wasn't.
Right.
So I kind of saved my money. I kind of learned, taught me the highs and lows on a
Yeah.
larger scale. You always know if you're, our people out here listening that are on commission or any type of bonus structure, you don't, you have to budget your money.
Absolutely.
But it was a really good learning lesson for me. I learned it then. But the recession was tough. It was tough on a lot of people.
Right.
It
Right.
was tough on a lot of people.
What were interest rates like back then?
Man, I cannot remember. I'd like to say around 10%.
Yeah.
2010, 2008, 9. I think it was 9, 10.
9,
Could be wrong.
10%. So here we are right now in 2026, and we're in a situation that we're in right now relative to the market conditions, and we've come out of the 2020, 2021, I'd say hot market.
Yeah.
And now things are starting to normalize and level out and that sort of thing. I think right now, based on my experience, people are having a difficult time adjusting to the new norm, especially I would say home buyers, because they are still in a place where they've heard about their cousin or their relative or their family member getting that 2 and 3% interest rate. So with that being said, it's been fairly challenging to help them to understand that it's likely that we'll never see those times again.
Mhm.
And now the rates are what they are. And for me, I always educate folks and try to help them understand that this is an investment. At the end of the day, regardless of what the rate is, we need to focus on securing an investment as opposed to worrying too much about the rate. Now, in your day to day business, in your day to day conversations with just your average working person, do you experience any pushback or any extreme concerns relative to rates and what they were and what they are now and so forth?
Yeah, there's still quite a bit of that.
Yeah.
There's still quite a bit of that. We always want lower price.
Right.
It's human nature.
Yeah.
Fortunately, rates now, they're in the 5, 6 range,
Yeah.
5s and 6s, depending on the loan type, credit, all the variables. They're a lot better than they were 2 years ago when they were in the high 6s, 7s, sometimes creeping in the 8s. Housing is a little bit, so you're jealous of 2020, 2021, but it was harder to buy a house.
Absolutely.
20 people offers. That was the challenge then. These rates aren't too challenging in some aspects because you got to pay to live somewhere.
Right.
You got to pay to live. Rent's expensive. Groceries are expensive. You kind of have, and when we're in a period of inflation, you live that in every part of your life. You go to the grocery store and you're like, butter costs this much now. Eggs cost this much. Potatoes, like everything's gone up. The rates are, in my mind, pretty good.
I think so too. I think considering that things have started to stabilize and that sort of thing, I've really looked back in hindsight and I'm looking at 2019 and even 2018. Sometime during that period, rates were steady around somewhere around 5%. That was pretty normal. So again, I think it's just that we had that shock, and when it went down to 2.7s and 3% interest rates, and as you mentioned, people are still a little bit jealous of back then. But considering that, what are your thoughts on refinancing right now for the folks that did go get a house at 6-7%? Based on where we are right now, is now a good time to refinance?
Not yet. I appreciate all my previous customers that call me back or email me back from a year or two, and I really want the business. I want to help. It's easy work. Refinancing is half the work than buying a home.
Right.
But there's also the closing costs associated with refinancing. So unless you're getting cash out or unless there's a reason other than the interest rate, I generally recommend to hold off on refinances. Now, if you're paying 8, maybe we can get you down to 5.875. Yes.
Right.
But if someone paying 6.5, 6 3/4, it's not
really worth it.
It's not worth refinancing to 6% if it's going to add $10,000 to your loan balance.
Right. And you know what, man, that's one of the things that I always respected about you is that you're going to tell the truth regardless. You're not just telling a customer something just to get the loan done and just to get a closing done and that sort of thing. You're going to tell them what it is from your honest opinion. What is it that kind of helped you to develop that honesty and that sort of a conservative nature?
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's easier to tell the truth. I've lied before.
Right.
I've done. And you know what it is to lie. You lie and you're trying to remember that lie, and then you're doing another lie on that lie on that lie. Also, I believe in the karma gods.
Right.
The karma gods, I think, are a real thing. Like you tell a lie one place, and I feel like you even out on another place. So it's easy for me just to be as blatantly honest as I can, and then that's easy to remember. I might not remember what I said in a conversation a month ago or a year ago.
Right.
But I know if it's something I would have said.
Right.
Or I wouldn't have said. Like I wouldn't have told someone. So it's just it helps keep one spot of my life easier.
Absolutely. That's something in business that I think not a lot of people understand is if you just stay straight to the point. Now, here's the other side of it. Some people aren't gonna like it. Some people can't handle the truth. Some people can't handle hearing that you need more money.
Yeah.
Right now, you don't have enough money to do what you need to do or accomplish your goal relative to purchasing right now or whatever the case may be. Are those conversations hard to have?
No, I'm rather be the bad guy than the liar.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do me much good to lie now if they figure out the truth later. There's also the reverse. I've had you referred me to someone, I won't say names.
Mm-hmm.
I had an honest conversation about the amount of debt she had.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this at the time, but she said she hated me. But she got her ducks in a row,
Uh-huh.
came back a year later, bought the house that she dreamed of. And she was grateful and appreciative. She's referred me people.
Mm-hmm.
She always looks back and she's tickled that I said what I said. Didn't mean
Mm-hmm.
to be mean. I wasn't mean to be harsh, but
Yeah.
sometimes if you don't have the money or if your credit is bad or if your work history is too bad,
Mm-hmm.
it's better to know that so you can plan and kind of adjust your life accordingly than the other way.
Right.
Now,
For
I'm not
sure.
sorry to overtake this, but maybe I'm not the right person for everybody. Like if you need a mom to say, you're getting there. You've been working a month. And there's 2
Right.
more years. I'm not that. I'll tell someone, you don't necessarily have to be on the same job for 2 years, but I'm kind of direct to the point. I want to make sure people understand.
Yeah, for sure. I think people have to take ownership of their own situation. And that's just I've had those experiences as well where I always pride myself on being extremely educational when it comes to offering advice and resources to folks that just might not be ready yet. How and it could some people perceive it different ways. When I give advice and say, "Hey, this is what you need to do," um, maybe connect with me again in 3 to 6 months. Um, some people can appreciate that, and that's exactly what they do. Other times, it could go differently. Where I think, as you mentioned before, like it's almost they're looking for more of a um, hold my hand approach through on a weekly basis, and sometimes I don't think that some folks understand it's just not a realistic thing.
Yeah.
It's just not a realistic thing for us to do. But definitely never wanting to turn anyone down or anything like that or make anyone feel uncomfortable. But that's just the nature of what we do, I think. um Aside from that, while we're talking about people preparing themselves for making huge financial investment like purchasing a home, how much money do you really need in your opinion? I get that question a lot.
It's a great question and it varies. And I hate to, there's not a number that's right for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just put in an email yesterday that takeaway program guidelines, because there are some no down payment loans available. I say to have a chance, you need at least 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
To have a better chance, you need about $5,000.
Okay. So that sounds like um that sounds like a first timer
Yeah.
or someone in that boat. But let's talk about our move up buyers. Let's talk about someone who might have a house right now and they're trying to keep as much money as they can in their pocket, but they're also trying to move up and buy a house that's significantly bigger and more expensive. What sorts of things would you advise them to do as it relates to preparing themselves?
I think the best is a casual conversation.
Mm-hmm.
A casual conversation and just talk numbers. We all want the perfect world where we pay the lowest amount, keep the most money in our pocket,
Right.
with the biggest, best, nicest house.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, I don't want to say pros and cons, but there's a give and take.
Right.
So you need to know, all right, if you're making 100,000 on your house, what if I
Mhm.
put 20? What if I put 50? What if I put
Mhm.
75? What if I put the whole shebang in there, the whole
Right.
100? It's just good to know that. And just to give you at least a rough idea, and then you can start making a game plan on what you want to do. You don't have to decide on the day one, but later down the road, you decide.
So Tell me this, since you do a great deal of new construction business,
Yeah.
what do you generally do when someone asks you the pros and cons of going the new construction route versus the resale route?
Usually, generally speaking, it's a matter of taste. From the mortgage perspective,
Mm-hmm.
this varies a little bit, but from the mortgage perspective, you're generally not locking your loan until you're within 60 days of closing. So I can tell you what the rates are now.
Mm-hmm.
There are some long-term loan lock options in some scenarios, but I can't tell you the rates in June or July.
Right.
Um, the other factors are where you're going to live interim.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of move-up buyers, they want to sell their house and they want to buy a house 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're doing a new construction, they might sell their house today and not buy their new house until June. Where are they going to live?
Mm-hmm.
How hard is it going to be to live in a hotel or Airbnb or with family? Sometimes, that could really stress you out if you're staying with family.
Yeah, it's tough. Even in the most comfortable situation, during the time where we were building our house and moving up, I want to say that there was a 2 to 3 month lapse that we had where we were going to
I
be
remember.
homeless and we had to figure it out. And we went to live with my in-laws, who I love them dearly, and they had plenty of space for us. The house was, we had free range to it. It was really the best situation we could be in as it relates to that little period of time where you're waiting for your house to be uh, finished or completed and you close or whatever the case may be, and the time from where you sold your house. And that 2 months, it was uncomfortable.
Too much. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. I remember those conversations, and you always prefaced it with how great your in-laws are and how nice a space you have. But
Right.
it's not your own home, so you can't. Not that you're going to do anything wild anyway.
Right.
But
Right.
I don't know. Like, did you at 2 a.m. if you're thirsty, are you going in the kitchen, or are you worried about making noise?
It's different. Do you want to be in your underwear at 2 in the morning and meet your mother-in-law
Oh no.
at the fridge?
Yeah, put some pants on before you go get some. So that is different.
Right.
And that's one of the challenges for a lot of people. And a lot of times with new construction,
Mm-hmm.
by the time they get to the closing day, they might be so frazzled that, I don't know, a slight imperfection in the yard
Right.
is really, really stressful. And it might not be the yard, but it's been staying with their in-laws for 3 months.
Exactly. Just the smallest thing will take you from 0 to 100 during that time, right?
Yes. Seeing a lot of stressful moments.
So let's talk about, again, let's talk about qualifications a little bit more as well, and getting someone pre-approved and so forth and so on. So if you go out on the internet, we're in the influencer culture.
Yeah.
We're in the clickbait culture. You'll go online and you'll see a guru say, you can get a loan, you can get pre-approved with a 580 credit score. Easy, which I do understand that is a possibility per FHA guidelines, right? But let's talk about the challenges of trying to purchase a home with the lower score and so forth. What's your take on that?
So it is possible to buy a home with a 580 credit score.
Right.
99 out of 100 people don't make it to the closing table. Most mortgage companies have overlays where, generally speaking, the rule of thumb is a 620 credit score.
Right.
Is what you need for most banks.
What's a overlay?
Meaning FHA has rules. And then banks like I work for Fulton Bank or Truist or Wells Fargo or even like mortgage companies like Movement Mortgage.
Right.
They all have their rules over and above. And so FHA, Federal Housing, they don't necessarily have a credit score requirement. But realistically, if you've got a 580 or a 560, theoretically, you could buy a house with a 540 credit score. But that's not going to work in 999 out of 1,000.
Right. Is that the place where manual underwriting and that sort of thing starts to play a role in things, when you maybe have FHA guidelines say that things look good. However, the overlay may say this causes for manual underwriting or whatever the case
It's
may be.
one of the triggers for manual underwriting when you can't get an automated underwriting approval. You just don't meet the basic guidelines. Maybe you have no credit score.
Right.
So we got to try to build the case with your paying your electricity on time, your rent on time, your I don't offer much in manual underwriting for low or no credit scores. But manual underwriting is hard. It's difficult. You want to get now, I'm not a huge believer. You don't need to get to an 800 credit score with $1 million in the bank and been on your job for 20 years. That's not necessary. But you want to give yourself a really good chance of making it to the closing table.
Right. Right.
Circling back to what you said about it online, you can research. There's a ton of information online. You could Google and spend every night of the week researching. Casual conversation goes a long way of demystifying things.
Yeah. With the online culture, it's just so many people out there that they're not necessarily trying to give the proper information or the correct information. They're really more focused on getting their clicks, getting people into their community, and maybe selling them a course or whatever the ultimate goal is for them. So that's what I find to be challenging when it comes to people and doing research online. I end up having to bust a lot of myths.
Yeah.
Because of the online and influencer culture. Do you find yourself having to deal with that where such and such online said I could do this and I could have $0 and I could have a 560 credit score and I'll get money back at the closing table?
More so, I run into I'll talk to someone that's been studying and working hard online and they're trying to figure out the program and remember all the acronyms. And we got people in real estate got to remember to simplify things. They're trying to learn about this program and the requirements and what they need to. They're just kind of happy for me to unpack it in 2 or 3 minutes. So I get more so a little bit of that. Every now and then you run across someone that says, I read something where you could buy a house with no money down. You don't need to pay. Oh, there is those loans. But more so it's just a relief when I talk to them to just unpack it really simply for them, for their scenario. Because whoever put whatever on TikTok, they're not necessarily talking to Natalie, who I'm on the phone with right that minute.
Right. So moving on from that, what do you think about just the market in general as it relates to where it is right now and where we're going in 2026 in the grand scheme of things based on all of the things that you've seen over the 27 years that you've been in real estate and mortgages?
So generally speaking, one, I always preface, I'm not an economist, but looking at the history of the United States and pretty much the history of the world, house prices increase. You have occasional little stumbling blocks, but home prices increase. So, someone bought a house right before the recession. They bought a house in 2005 or 2007 when everything was at the top and then it dropped. Well, their house is worth way more now. So the $400,000 house that you see today is going to be worth $405,000 next year.
But that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing that I was telling you before. That's what I tell people when they are so zeroed in on what the rate is and so forth and so on. It's like, let's just make the investment, because the house that you have now will be worth a lot more in 2 years. Let's stay in that house for 2 or 3 years. Then you can kind of get to a place where you can get that dream home or at least something better than from where you started. And you'll have a lot more help. People, what I have to tell people a lot of times as well is educate them on how mortgages will make their credit better. So they'll be in a better financial situation because they have equity, and a mortgage loan looks good as it relates to credit scores.
Yeah.
So I found myself having to have that conversation a lot. Like, let's just make the investment. Let's start building some equity and let's get to where we're going like that.
Yeah, I don't I don't think I've ever had a dissatisfied customer going in the future. So like the
Right.
house they bought, whether it's 2002, 2020, I don't think any time in any point in history is someone unsatisfied with buying a house when they bought it. So the sooner the better. I'm not a cliche guy, but you've heard time in the market versus time in the market.
Yeah.
I don't use cliches, but it's right.
Hmm.
Like if you buy a house today, it's going to be worth more in 5 years.
Right. Right. So my first house, just given my own personal situation, my first house I bought back in 2014, I want to say. 2014. House in Richmond was a foreclosure, needed work. I got it for 155,000. I stayed there for about 6 years. After that 6 years, we sold it for nearly 300,000, if not 300,000. That's almost a double up.
Yeah.
That's almost a double up in 5-6 years. Which, when I moved on to the house after that, it helped tremendously when it comes to down payment, closing expenses, even furnishing the next house the way that we wanted to. Whatever financial situation we may have been in at the time, with helping to take care of closing expenses and any debt that um that might have been required as it relates to the conditions and so forth. So it just made for a much better situation.
You did it the right way. Well, I mean, provided housing, provided down payment, provided furniture. I'm sure it wasn't your dream house in 2014,
Right.
but I'm sure, but you were young at the time.
Yeah. Yep. But I always try to give that personal testimony about my own specific situation, because I didn't go straight into a dream house situation. I made an investment, waited, and it worked out. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people just need to consider that, especially the first timers. The first
Mhm.
timers, they really got to consider that is challenging, unless you're a baller
Yeah.
or whatever this situation may be, that the first house may not be your dream house, or you might not get all of the things you want in the first house. But if you make a good investment, then that next situation is going to be a lot better. You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
So, in your business, how do you make connections with? So, just to circle back, as a loan officer and being in the mortgage business, you get most of your referrals, I would assume, from real estate agents. Am I right,
Uh,
or
yes,
not?
I would say yes.
How do you go about making connections with real estate agents? The guy that I was 10 years ago, do you have interest in meeting that guy who's just coming in? Or if not, how do you make connections with the agents you want to make connections with in the market?
So, it's always organic. It's always
Mm-hmm.
natural. Whenever I do a transaction, there's always a buyer's agent and a seller's agent. A lot of realtors I've met through that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a system of, and I've seen other, friends show me, this loan officer sent this letter and this
Yeah.
email and this card and, stop by this open house for me. I don't have a set system for that.
Right.
But I've been doing it for a long time, so that helps. I'm pretty good at it. That helps. Um, don't have a don't have any system for that. But no, I like new agents. New agents
Mm-hmm.
are fun. They're learning. They want to learn. I'm working with and sometimes new agent varies. Like there's because depending on how you start, some agents start and they still got their full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they've got their full-time job for 3 years and they're closing 2-3 deals a year
Right.
or 1 or 2 deals a year. And then on the fourth year, they gave up their job. Now they're really, really the new agent.
Right.
But no, I like all stages of that.
Yeah. I agree with you as it relates to gaining traction and relationships through just the organic route.
Yeah. If it's too canned, if it feels like a sales pitch, It's weird.
Bro, do you know how tired I am of loan officers asking me to go drink coffee? Like, it's like we got to come up with something new. You know
Different.
what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, who wants to do like? I do like a cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. Like I got a Keurig, a beer or lunch. At least have a beer or lunch
Yeah.
if you're talking shop. But yeah, I mean, a phone call.
Right.
Phone call just keep things a little bit simpler. But how often do you get those?
Once a week at least.
Once a week?
Once a week at least, someone's asking me to go out and drink coffee. I'm like, who's telling them that that's the thing to offer, like a cup of coffee? And I get it. It's like whatever you got to do when you're hustling and grinding. I'm definitely an advocate for the hustle culture. I'm one of the biggest hustlers that you could imagine. You know what I mean? However, I think even with that mentality, we got to come up with different ways and creative ways to make organic connections.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's all about. Even from, and I think that just aligns with all phases of life and in marketing and business and so forth. Even from what we're doing right now, we're really having a real honest organic conversation. And I think ultimately that gets you further than this what feels like a pitch.
Now you've introduced me to a couple of realtors,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't a couple of times. I don't think they were on your team. I don't think there was anything out of it you were getting.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you like mentoring new realtors?
So I like to see if anyone level up, or whatever the case may be, and meet their goals and get to where they want to be and so forth. And I find fulfillment in seeing them go from nothing to something. When I got my real estate license, I've been working in corporate America, and I knew I wanted to do something on my own. Never really had any real estate experience, but I was hungry. And I like seeing that hunger in their spirit, and I like to see them do the things that they need to do in order to get to where they want to be, not just talk about it. You know what I mean? So anytime that I can offer any advice, I'll pick up the phone for them. I'll talk to them. And I was just telling somebody the other day, obviously I have other business ventures as well and other phases of my life and other businesses that I'm in or involved with. In those industries, people aren't as willing to share information as I have been in the real estate industry with newcomers or whatever the case may be. So I pride myself on just being someone that can be open and transparent and share with folks that information that they may not know. No need to jump through a million hurdles when I'll just share the information with you. It doesn't hurt me to do that. You know what I mean? So I never understood when, they say gatekeeping. I never understood gatekeeping.
It's bad juju, right?
I don't get it.
You can help someone out in an hour or two of your time. It's worth doing.
Yeah, it's cool. So I just don't. I don't get down like that.
For you, man. It's nice. It's nice to give back a little bit.
Yeah.
But do you enjoy it though? I know you feel like you should do it, but do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I do. I like connecting with people that are hungry. You know what I mean? I find interest in, again, with just being a hustler and that sort of thing, and being kind of in the grind culture. I like to connect with other folks who share that same sentiment or whatever the case may be. So it's really, I find interest in it. And then to actually see them hit the goal or become what they never thought that they could be, that's even better.
Got it. Question for you. You always talk about real estate as an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like homes? Do you like backsplashes? Do you like color? Do you like style of homes? Do you like old homes, new homes?
Yeah, it's fun. So I like new houses. I like custom builds. It's really interesting to me to go out and, like, for example, when they have parade of homes and what's the other one that they have right here in Richmond?
Parade of
Homerama.
Yeah.
Like they just had one right out there in Midlothian. I don't know if it was Summer Lake or one of those other nice neighborhoods. I love houses. I love the decor and keeping up with trends and so forth. What backsplash is hot this year? What backsplash was hot last year? And that helps me also in my business as an investor with flips and renovations and so forth, because that helps me to know what to put in to those houses as I renovate those and so forth. So it's something that I really like. I also like to go look for ideas that I can maybe make my own house better with. And go if I go look at a house that a custom builder did out in Summer Lake or something like that, it's fun to go see how I can incorporate that into my house.
Do you like showing homes or do you like listing homes more?
So I would say that's a great question. I would say 50-50, because when it comes to showing houses, I'm ultimately working with a buyer who will occupy that home, right?
Yeah.
And one of the most fulfilling things for me with being in real estate is when I can go back during the holidays and look at people in the house that I helped them get, and they're having a ball with their family, taking shots and eating and that sort of thing during Christmas and the holidays and so forth. And they're having cookouts, and I'm invited to the cookout, and I'm showing up, and we're in the backyard, and they're having a party, and I just feel a part of their journey. You know what I mean? So that's one of them, and I mean that to the fullest. Like, that's not me just saying it. I really get fulfillment out of looking at people in the house that I helped them get. So on that side, I love showing houses because I know that I'm gonna ultimately get there. However, when it comes to listings and selling houses, I like to see people end up with, like, again, what we were talking about earlier. I like to see people end up with more than they had before, and actually materialize that equity that we're talking about. It's not just a folklore. It's not fake money.
Got it. You like seeing the win. They bought the house for 100. Now they're selling it for 300. You like to see them winning
For
that
sure.
200,000.
Then it's like, what's next? Let's do it again. When somebody calls me and they're ready to list their house, I'm like, okay. One of the first questions that I ask, where are we going next? What's the next step?
Love that.
You know what I mean? What about you? What do you like? What do you like? Refinance or
Now purchase is more. Refinance is easier. It's easier
Mhm.
work, and I love that work.
Mhm.
Purchase is more gratifying.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. I know her name, and I probably shouldn't say it. We worked on her. She bought, I think it was 109 in Petersburg,
Mhm.
and she posted on Facebook she just cut the grass,
Yeah.
and she was humble bragging.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, this yard was so hard." Poor me. My new house, the yards.
Yeah.
That was really great. And this was years ago. Do you
Yeah.
remember what I'm talking about?
I think I do.
It was really gratifying, really nice seeing someone humble bragging on, and she deserved the humble brag.
Right.
She worked for it. She got herself in position. She bought her a house
Mhm.
and she cut her grass.
For sure. For sure. I'm done cutting grass, man.
You done cutting grass? You're way
Initially,
too young to be done cutting
I'm
grass.
done cutting grass, bro. I have allergies. Every time I cut grass, I'm struggling for about 2 or 3 days. After the fact, I'm done cutting grass. I got some really good landscaping guys around me,
Man.
and I just get them to take
Who
care of
shoveled
it
your
now.
sidewalk?
I did shovel my sidewalk.
All right.
I shoveled my sidewalk. Now, I got a 17-year-old.
Okay.
So that takes some weight off of my back now. But I did shovel my sidewalk with the help from the young one.
I like that. I like that. I like to see boys still having to do. Girls can do this stuff too. A lot
Yeah.
of girls are shoveling, but I like to see 17-year-olds come on out with me. We're shoveling.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So as it relates to mortgage and business in general, do you have any goals? Anything that you'd like to accomplish for yourself whether it be this year or even in the next 5 years? What do you see for yourself?
Man, I'm the worst at goal setting.
Uh huh.
I always just want to do a really good job.
Uh huh.
I don't set volume goals as I should. Sometimes, I've been asked to set volumes goals and I've kind of lied about them. I don't I don't care if I do 12 million or 24 million or 30. Not
Mm-hmm.
that. I always want to do a good job with no mistakes. That's my main goal. I always
Right.
want to just do a really good job with no mistakes, and then I sleep and rest easier. I like happy customers.
Right.
I need to know that I didn't mess up anything.
What about just the business behind it, the mortgage business, and you being a loan officer and so forth? When we first met, you were with the bank, and then you are with
Fulton.
Fulton now. How you liking Fulton, and what's the difference?
Love it. Village Bank and Fulton Bank, every bank has their pros and their cons.
Mm-hmm.
What I liked about Village, and Village was good. They had a lot of pros, more pros than cons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I stayed there for, I think it was 12 years.
Right.
And by year 3, not only did I know the company and our programs and our policies inside out, I understood everybody's plain English. So you know how sometimes, you'll ask someone, hey, is 2 + 2 = 4? And
Yeah.
they'll say yes. There's different types of yeses, different types of nos, and you have to understand like body language or voice.
Mm-hmm.
And for the past year, it's not the policies or procedures. Fulton Bank has some great programs.
Mm-hmm.
I was just been kind of learning the people and having them learn me.
Right.
Because sometimes I'm serious, sometimes I'm silly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might say a silly joke and they're like, is he busting on me? Is he complaining? You know what I mean? So programs, policies, and the people that I know has been wonderful. They welcomed me in. They
Yeah.
answer my questions. I enjoy it.
That's cool. Favorite neighborhood in Richmond?
That's a tough one.
You from Richmond, right?
I'm from Richmond, Henrico.
Mm-hmm.
The little neighborhood by where the Kickers play, by City Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't call it a little neighborhood. It's older ranchers. I'd like to say they're probably built in the 1950s. They probably sound like the $400,000 range right now. It's just something about it. It's got sidewalks. You're close to Carytown.
Mm-hmm.
I like Richmond Kickers games.
Yeah.
That's. What about you?
Halsley.
New
Summer
construction
Lake.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger the better.
Yeah. Halsley, Summer Lake. I like the Highlands golf course. Custom Bills. Yep. I love those neighborhoods like that because they're not cookie cutter. Every house is different. A lot of times, again, you get a lot of the custom bills, so it's just you get a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not a huge fan, and of course, I live in one right now, but I'm just not a huge fan of HOAs.
Really?
Just not. Now, I always tell my clients, what's for you is for you. If it works for you, it's fine. And I do understand protecting the value because obviously you don't want your neighbor to paint their house pink and put a pool in the front yard. That's obviously going to affect your property value. No one's going to want to move there. However, I don't like the policing aspect of things and someone coming to ask you why you had your trash can out for trash pickup an hour earlier than you were supposed to or something like that.
I hear you.
I also don't like the privacy fence thing is always a thing that I don't like too. A lot of HOAs, they either want no fences or they only want your fence to be 4.5 feet at the most. And a lot of times they want it to be a picket fence. I don't like that restriction either.
So what's your dream home?
Dream home, I'd say custom build on an acre or two. Custom build on an acre or two. Now, I've started to revisit that as time has gone on because My kids are older now. I do have the 9-year-old, and he's going to be around for a lot more time. But also, as I mentioned earlier, I have a 17-year-old, and he's always going to have somewhere to come back to if he absolutely needs to. And I'm never going to push him out and say, you got to go now. However, we're planning to be empty nesters in our 40s. You know what I mean? 10 years from now, my 9-year-old, he'll be 19. He'll be doing his own thing. And then I'll have a 27-year-old. Do I need a huge custom build on 2 acres in that situation? I probably won't, because during that time, I'd like to be able to go with my wife and go spend a month in Italy if I wanted to.
Got it.
So that's the thing about the dream home. I've been really considering whether that's something that's actually a dream or not. I think, again, as I age, I think the dream is actually maybe just being mortgage free.
Yeah. What about the downsize? You got a downsize plan B? Condo in the city?
Downsizing would be cool. Downsizing would be cool. I do get tired of going up steps already.
No, you're too young to be talking about
Man,
steps.
when you've been watching TV on the couch downstairs and it's midnight, it's hard to get upstairs to that bed. I promise, it's hard to get to that bed, man. So, I think first floor master would be great if I could get to a house with a first floor master in my latter years. I think that'd be perfect for me for sure. But I need space outside. That's one of the things. I would stay in the house that I have now forever if I had space outside. I don't have as much space in the driveway and that kind of thing for the things that I'd like to accumulate over time.
Got it.
So just need more space in that regard, not necessarily more square footage inside, you know?
Real estate question. When it comes to the first floor master, this is what my concern for people is. You got a first floor master. Are you going to do anything? If you're in a first floor master, the upstairs room just for the kids, if and when they come back?
Probably so. Probably so. Unless my office happens to be upstairs, or, you have second floor living rooms now, or lofts and that sort of thing. I'd certainly utilize the space in that regard. Outside of that, not too sure I would. Just going back to talking about my in-laws again and their house upstairs, they probably barely use their upstairs. First floor master, they probably barely use their upstairs. I could see my situation probably happening something like that.
Be nice to have the upstairs bedrooms, but you could also do a rancher.
Rancher would be cool. Now, a lot of people don't know that, especially from a new construction aspect, ranchers are a lot more expensive to build.
Yeah.
Just because of the footprint of the rancher, it's actually cheaper to build up. So I think the numbers and everything like that play a factor in it as well.
Yeah, I agree. You're right.
Yep.
But no condo in the city.
I like the thought of a condo in the city. I just don't think it's best for me in the direction that my life is going in personally. But I like the thought of a condo in the city. Like if I didn't have kids, condo in the city might be cool. Also, my wife, with the type of grocery stores and stuff she likes to go to, and the way that works out.
You're a Whole Foods guy, right?
I like Whole Foods. We like Whole Foods. We like Kroger's cool too, though.
Kroger's cool.
But we like Whole Foods.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Especially the meat from Whole Foods. What's your favorite restaurant in Richmond?
Bacchus. Bacchus and Can.
What's Bacchus?
Italian. Dark. You can see him cooking, kind of dark, sexy. You can see him cooking. Food's really good.
Yeah.
That's my favorite food. Can is my favorite restaurant. It's the opposite. It's bright. They don't have a great vegetarian menu, but the bread's excellent. and there's something about the chatter sound that you could hear everyone's voice, but you can't hear anything anyone's saying.
Yeah.
They've got my favorite beer, Kronenberg Blanc. It's the closest thing I am to a regular is Can. So that's my favorite.
Can.
Can. I'd say tie between Can, Bacchus, and Jamaica House. Jamaica House is actually, that's my heart. Jamaica House, my top three. Those are my top three.
Jamaica House is good. You know, I'm on South Side, so I end up at Carina's a lot of times, but Jamaica House is good.
I think, and I might be wrong, I think their recipe for their vegetable curry is slightly different.
I just had their vegetable curry.
Slamming. Sorry, cut you off.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah,
I just had it like 2 weeks ago. Love the oxtails.
Like, it's been a long time since I had the oxtails, but best I've ever had. Better than, I hate to say it, better than my mother's. My mom's got the curry beat, I think.
Other than eating, what is some of your favorite things to do in the city? Maybe the museum?
Love the museum. Well, you were there. Got married there.
Yes, sir.
Married my lovely wife, Kim. And I'm not an art guy, but I like being around people that like art. So I can't tell good art from bad art, but I like hipsters.
Right.
The Giants exhibit going on right now is fantastic.
I haven't seen it yet.
You got to come. You got to come bring the wife. We'll go there. Yeah, it's just the feel of the place. And you can get, you can get a drink, coffee. If I'm going to do coffee, I like to do it there. The restaurant's good. It's good to walk through. The outdoor spacing is nice. Everyone is a little bit better of a person at a museum. Yeah. Imagine the same thing at a library. You're not going to see the bad side of someone at the library. Right. But library's not as much, in my opinion. Yeah. The museum's fun.
In the next couple of weeks, I want to try to go over there and see the Giants exhibit. The wedding was awesome. Let's revisit that.
Yeah, got right there.
The wedding was awesome. That was probably one of the best weddings I've ever been to. And how's married life treating you since then?
It's good. It's good. It's good. We were pretty much married prior to. We were together for a while. Yeah. Wife handled all the wedding stuff. She, it was her thing. She likes that. But we were already together. We'd lived together for a few years. So it was comfortable. It's not like there was no shock afterwards. I already knew her. Yeah. We're already best friends, so it just kind of, everything's easy.
That's cool, man.
Not all peaches and cream, you know what I mean? Like, we get along great. But you have to compromise. Sometimes.
Happy wife, happy life, right?
Happy wife, happy life. But I'm not compromising much. I mean, it's not like poor me. I have to be a good husband. Yeah. I'm not really. I'm being cheesy. Married life is good, but it was good before I got married.
Yeah, man.
You've been a veteran to marriage.
Yeah. 10 years.
10 years?
10 years, yep. And it's just as fun as day one. It's just as fun as day one. Man, I'm not going to hold you up any longer, bro. I just want to say thanks again. I certainly appreciate you just spending your time to sit down and talk to me on camera. So, of course, we get the opportunity to talk quite a bit. Man, I'm just looking forward to more growth and us being able to continue to evolve as the years go on and that sort of thing, and continue to develop and that sort of thing. So again, I'm just extremely appreciative of you sitting down and doing this with me, bro. I appreciate that, genuinely.
The shoe's on the other foot, man. Yeah. As much as you've done for me, you've been a good friend, great real estate agent, having me. I feel guilty right now. We should have talked more about your journey. But it's an honor for me to be here. I really appreciate you having me. No, seriously, thank you.
For sure. That'll do it, man. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks. Thank y'all for watching.